Okay, you're really going to enjoy today's video because it's possibly the most important video I've ever made. Today is October 1st, and you all know what that means. It marks the first day of the best month of the year, Black History Month.
The higher you build your barriers.
It's my favourite anyway. Now, they tell writers that you should write about what you know, and I think that that rule applies to YouTube content creators like myself. Make videos and stuff about things you know, things that you feel confident talking about, not talking on. We don't say talking on the Daniel Boland show.
Who's Daniel Boland?
And I feel very comfortable talking about black women. Now, I don't want to make out that I'm some kind of expert, but, you know, I did about 20 years ago go to school with some black kids, and I'm married to a Spanish woman, so that's kind of, you know. So I don't like to brag or anything, but I've got this.
Oh, Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
Right, so let's get into it. As I was saying, it's Black History Month, and
You wanted to see me broken, head bowed and tears in my eyes. More fool you didn't realise.
So anyway, I was
But my strength is powered by your lies. You are the wrong one, the violent one, the weird one, whereas I am the chosen one, because I am of the first ones. You see this skin I'm in, this beautiful mahogany brown, this skin you don't like, I believe. So why you try so hard to achieve by burning yourself in the sun? For me, there's no need, because I am the chosen one.
Yes, well, what better way to kick off this festive season of Black History Month, the happiest time of the year, than with some inspiring words from Labour MP Dawn Butler there. Very nice. A lovely poem about skull measurements and skin colour and the superiority of one race over another. She's fighting fire with fire, people.
For I am of the first ones. I know I'm black and beautiful, an African freedom fighter.
African freedom fighter? That's a bit of a stretch. You're a Labour MP for Brent East. What are you fighting for freedom from? Congestion charges? And even so, it's your tyrannical tigress of a mayor who's imposing them. Shere Khan. Sadiq Khan.
My skin is my protection, and you, my friend, don't matter, because I am the chosen one, for I am of the first ones. You created a structure that made you seem great, when the simple reality is, it is all fake, because I am the chosen one, for I am of the first ones. So you wanted to see me broken, head bowed and tears in my eyes.
That's your dream, isn't it?
No.
More for you haven't realised. My strength is despite your lies.
So, Dawn Butler there, everybody. Labour MP for Brent East, formerly Labour MP for Brent South, and formerly Brent West. Doing her best David Brent impression, I would say there.
Let me take you down Equality Street.
So thank you, Dawn, for that. It was very enlightening, that poem. And I don't know what you took away from it, but the key message for me was I've got to resist the urge to keep building these structures that make me look good. But it's hardwired into me. It's ingrained in me as a white man to build those structures. It's like the burrowing instinct in a badger. Or, you know, a slightly less menacing analogy might be the way Wilbur, the runt pig in Charlotte's Web, just knows how to build a little nest for itself in the box, in the straw in the box under the apple tree, you know. That's the way I think of white people building structures. There's nothing evil about it. It's just what we do. You know, as I was having my coffee this morning, I found myself erecting the scaffolding of one of these structures. I said, no, Danny, stop. Anyway, shall we head over to our cousins over in the US of A, specifically in Pennsylvania, to see what they are doing to make sure that black women finally get heard, for God's sake, you know, because the problem with black women, particularly black American women, is they're too damn meek. And if I have read my Bible correctly, that means that they could inherit the earth, and that's what we want. But they should also be not afraid to be very loud. And
this year, one of the most coveted voting blocs for either campaign is suburban women.
I find things like that very sleazy. What do you mean, the most coveted voting bloc? Why is any particular demographic the most coveted by a political party? It's like they sat down and had a meeting, and said, yeah, those stupid fucking suburban housewives, they don't know what's going on. We can easily manipulate them.
These days, suburban women are more diverse than ever before, racially, ethnically, and even economically.
Oh, geez, there they all are, clucking away. Into the hen house we go. And which visionary, might I ask, over at MSNBC's production decided it was a good idea to lace these banshees with alcohol before filming started?
To get their take on this election, Melissa and I sat down with a group of intergenerational black women.
My favorite kind of black women.
Intergenerational black women who live in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, an area critical to Democrats and Republicans in this election.
You think when people talk about the suburbs, they're not thinking about y'all?
Not at all.
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
Why not?
We're painted with a paintbrush that says we're not supposed to be out here anyway.
They've been painting them. Now that really is too far. Who's been going around painting black suburban women? Okay, I know they're the most coveted voting bloc, but we can't mark them like cattle, okay? They're not animale.
Right. That we're not successful, that we don't have the same economic value that people who don't look like us have.
The first question when you move in a neighborhood, where do you work? Not what is your name, where do you work?
What do you do?
I'm sorry, but that is just polite middle class, maybe white middle class conversation. As inadequate as it is, often we do ask people what people do for a living. It's probably not the best thing to do. But don't think of us as some kind of evil snow roach kind of thing. We're like poor little Wilbur, wrapped up in a blanket, suckling from a bottle of milk in Fern's arms. We're cute, is what I'm saying. Pretty damn cute.
The first thing they look at us and they think, you got where you are because of diversity. You're a diversity hire. You are some kind of hard luck case, and you came up on a success because of what we gave you.
What a strange thing to think. That it really is quite a leap. When somebody asks you what you do for a living, your reaction is, oh, you think I owe you something, right? I didn't think that, but I'm starting to wonder.
And we all worked hard. All of us worked hard to be where we are.
I wonder how all of you are thinking about this upcoming election and the various issues and what they mean for your families and how it will shape the way you think about your choice in 2024.
I think in today's economy, I'm almost afraid to say this. When I lived in Maryland, I was a registered Republican.
Whoa!
Side splitting, isn't it, ladies, that one of you at one time perhaps had an original thought. But what a great bunch of nuanced, intergenerational, diverse suburban ladies MSNBC have lined up for us here. This is great.
I think we took for granted in the last election, that our voice does matter and that, their affirmative action. Like, we didn't think that would go away, right? And we got lazy about it sometimes.
I think your friend there was kind of trying to make the opposite point about how you're not diversity hires and stuff. And then you go and blow it all by saying something stupid like, we got lazy about the diversity hires. That's not a good look, getting lazy about DEI.
Black women, when they go to the polls, to me, my experience has been the black women are thinking about a whole lot more than just themselves when they go to the polls.
All day.
And I don't know.
Always. All day. Yeah, every single black woman, when they go to the polls, all they're thinking about is the greater good. It's pure altruism, unlike us nasty white men, When we go to the polls, it's just in our nature to be like, what is best for white men, specifically me, right? But don't hold it against us. Remember, it's just in our nature. Think of us as the cute little suckling pig.
I don't know if everybody else who's going to the polls has that mentality. What do you think about that?
I think as Black women, and especially in this case, thinking beyond ourselves, it's about winnability because the alternative is so scary.
And I think we get taken for granted that, oh, they're just going to look at the ballot and go all the way down and not even read it.
No, 1,000 times no.
I feel like a lot of the time, the country will rely on us to correct a wrong that's been made. And to be completely honest with you, it's very frustrating.
She's right, you know, us white men who run everything, we're so busy building all these structures, you know, like homes and places of worship and warehouses to store stuff, you know, making ourselves look good in the process. We're so busy doing that sometimes we make a real mess of things like DEI legislation. We don't get that through the houses and chambers that they have to go through. And then we just expect all the black women to come along and clear up all our mess, you know, and that's not right. What do we think they are? The Wombles?
So a number of you have mentioned the Supreme Court, and I think one of the things that's been really top of mind in this election cycle is reproductive rights, and specifically access to abortion. Are you thinking about this and the other assaults?
Oh, that's really too far. Which one of those MAGA lunatics put that on her hat? That's too far.
On reproductive freedom, including in vitro fertilization, which is a way that many people are starting their families now.
Okay, well, I'm not going to go down the abortion rabbit hole on today's video, but suffice it to say, I know a thing or two about that as well. You know, I've got some pretty hot takes on that topic, pretty nuanced, and it would really open your minds, I think. But as I say, no.
I don't have children, but I think about my niece.
Well, excuse me, ma'am, if your niece belongs to the streets, that's her problem. I think she's probably a child. I am joking.
And if they're talking about their decision with our fallopian tubes.
Oh, fuck off. Now I am gonna get opinionated. You do not say things like fallopian. Fallopian tubes on the Daniel Boland show. By which I mean in my presence. That's what I call, you know, when anyone's in and around me in my life. I say, you're on the Daniel Boland show now, and you say the stuff that I allow you to.
And with our fallopian tubes, where else does that go?
Yeah.
Where do we go from there? And the people that are making these decisions are not a lot of women.
It's such a slippery slope, the idea that we could legislate every scenario that a woman goes through in her reproductive health. When we start opening up these laws to say this many weeks or this or that or this exception or that exception, it's never ending. We've already opened the door and we've already seen what's happened even in this short time of opening that door.
Well, that was truly fascinating, an insight into my area of expertise. I'm sure you all enjoyed my input on black women here in Black History Month, and you know, you're welcome is what I guess I want to say. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, you know, let the algorithm know, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you so much to everyone who's joined me on Patreon. You're really helping out with the channel. And, well, as always, I'll be back on here as soon as I can, or on Patreon, or somewhere. And I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.
White niceness as a tool of white supremacy. Did you know that most white people have mastered the art of niceness?
Yes, Captain Spaz from the land of Spaz.